Hi guys, so this is not what I usually do, and the mic is a little bit extra, completely unnecessary, but I have it, so I thought I might as well use it. So, usually I post things, I don't do videos and talk, but I completely explain what is going on with me, not in all separate parts, on posts and things here and there that maybe don't go into complete detail. I know there's probably some people who might be a little confused at where I'm at and they don't quite know how I'm doing. Could you see my cat run by? She's confused why I'm sitting on the floor. It's okay, Annie. So where I'm at with my health. So basically, my health journey, my testimony, everything related to health issues goes back for over a decade ago. But I'm just going to be talking about where I'm at right now. Some of you know my history, some of you may not. But I'm just going to be talking about pretty much mostly where I am right now. So I have a lot of different things wrong with me, like 10 or more things. But the main thing that I have is called SMA syndrome. It also stands for superior mesenteric artery syndrome. So my small intestine is being compressed between two arteries, my aorta and the superior mesenteric artery. So you can imagine it's painful, but it's a lot more than pain. It's just imagine, your small intestine. It's supposed to be open. Food passes through. Your stomach, digestive juices pass through even when you're not eating. Your stomach is producing digestive juices, so all of them are passing through. But when it's being compressed, it's like it's closed. So it's never all the way open for me when I'm upright. It's never all the way open for me this is how I explain it. When I'm laying down, it's open just a tiny bit, so I can get things to move through. If I lay down in the right position, I have like this whole system how I have to lay to get things to move through. When I'm upright, I imagine it's like just about completely shut. When I'm upright, it is so bad. But when I say getting things to pass through, it's very minimal food, and my digestive juices that your body just produces on a daily basis when you're not eating and when you're eating. So there's really not much room for anything to go through. And there's also a backflow. So instead of things going down and out like they're supposed to, it comes backwards and up because of the blockage. So when all that's happening, your body is also not absorbing food like it should be. So whatever I do eat, I will be honest, I've only been getting around 500 calories since January. On average, about 500 calories a day since January. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, but on average it's about 500. But whatever I do eat, it just feels like it's not absorbing, but it's just because I am just in starvation mode all the time. So whatever I eat, it's just not good enough. My body doesn't even have enough energy to properly digest it. Now it's not like I'm taking for granted that I can eat 500 calories though, because some people like throw up all the time and they can't keep anything down. So I don't throw up. I'm not sure why, but I actually don't have like much of a gag reflex. I can't throw up very easy. Like I've hardly ever thrown up in my life, which it could seem like mostly a good thing, but it can be a little dangerous because when things get stuck inside me and they back up into my stomach and it, like pressure starts to build up, I can't throw up. Now I don't want to go too far like into this, but I've even like tried to get myself to throw up in a moment like that when I needed the things to come up, because it was getting to a feeling where it was like just horrible and I couldn't get myself to do it. I say I don't want to get that too far into it because like don't get ideas. I know some people with eating disorders cause themselves to throw up, so don't do that. I'm not recommending that. I was only doing it because I was like in distress and things were stuck. So it could seem like it's good that I don't throw up, and there's definitely a lot of benefits to not throwing up. I'm at least able to keep stuff down. But there are times when it's dangerous. In moments like that, if it hadn't gone away, I'd go to the hospital to get my stomach pumped. But thank the Lord, I have never had to do that. So that is a little bit about SMA syndrome, about how it functions and like what's going on with the small intestine and the arteries. So because I'm not eating much, that causes malnutrition. Now, for me, everything failed. I had y'all know I got a PICC line put in, tried TPN, and everything that happened with that. The PICC line caused blood clot. I have abnormally small veins, even in my legs. Small veins, so the PICC line caused a major issue, but then also I had a bad reaction to the TPN. So it was like a double whammy that it didn't work for me. And I tried a nasal feeding tube. That went absolutely horrendous because I also have a very small esophagus, and they did the smallest tube possible on me. Same with the PICC line, the smallest double lumen tube because I needed it for blood draws and to put the TPN in, because you can't get TPN and not have frequent blood draws. And they could not stick me anymore. They were not able to keep getting blood from me, so it had to be the double lumen, which is like 2 tubes, one that you can draw blood out of and one that you can insert the feeds into. So yeah, those 2 things worked. And then the other option is surgical feeding tubes, which are placed through your stomach wall or through your small intestine, or both, or one can go, or it could be 1 tube that goes through your stomach wall and then has like 2 tubes inside of you, and one goes down into your small intestine. I can't get that one because it would just hit my compression spot. I'd have to get 2 separate ones. I had decided not to do that it wasn't right for me. I have contemplated maybe just get the one in my stomach, so that when those dangerous things happen and I need to empty my stomach, that I can do that, and I can at least put things into my stomach very slowly to help me get more nutrition. I just know myself, I know my body, and I also know the Lord, and I have never felt what is the word? I've never felt like a check in my spirit to go through with those tubes. But also, I have really oversensitive nerves. I cannot even begin to imagine how painful it would be for me, especially to get those tubes. There's that. Okay, but God could help me out, If I was supposed to get those tubes, He would help me. But then there's also the problem of how bad the PICC line went, how bad the nasal tube went. I'm small, my throat's small, my veins are small. Also, when they scanned me, they said that I'm not going to get this right because I can't completely remember it. My liver was up against my stomach, like my stomach was covered, so they would have to do the tube a bit differently. Look, that's a huge red flag for me. Also, all my abdominal organs sink when I stand up. If I pronounce this right, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced visceratosis. Do not quote me. It's when you're upright, all your abdominal organs sink. So that is me. I think stomach, liver, intestines, bladder, they all sink, and it causes me a lot of issues. So I'm like imagining how bad I am when I'm upright, having a tube in me, and my whole abdominal organ sinking. And also I see other people in my condition who have tubes. They're still not getting better. They're still dying. No, I'm not saying everyone's dying, but they're not getting better, and they're having so many issues with tubes. Now this, I didn't expect to talk on this long, but you're getting all the details. Now this is actually a major one. You cannot get the surgery for SMA syndrome without TPN. Like, they don't allow that. You have to have nutrition in order to not die on the operating table, and afterwards, after the surgery, you cannot eat for several days or a week, something like that. It's a lot your body has to go through, and after a surgery your body burns calories like crazy because it's recovering, so you need extra calories. So basically no one will operate on me without TPN because they're afraid I'm going to die on the operating table. Now, it's not like they've told me that, because they cannot tell me that. That's just what it is. They're not going to operate on someone if they don't think that they could make it through the surgery and that they could be safe. Then you could say, like, but I could die from not getting the surgery. Yes, I could, but it wouldn't be on their hands. And as much as you could be like, think about that's wrong, it's understandable. They just can't imagine someone living with that. Like, they operate on someone knowing that they weren't strong enough for the surgery and then they died. I can't even imagine somebody having to live with that. So, but I know there's people that do. Doctors are strong. You know, I do a lot of functional medicine, but you can't forget about traditional medicine. They're both equally important for different reasons. And I've learned how to really embrace both. Let me check if the video is still going. We're still going strong. Okay, so back to why I am not getting any surgical feeding tubes. 1, I think it would wreck me. 2, I know my own body. 3, the most important one, I don't have a check from the Lord. I feel no, okay in my spirit to go through with this. 4, I can't get the surgery anyways, and the tubes are not a cure. They're only to get you through. They're not a cure for... So some people can get the tubes and manage it if their SMA is not that bad. Or some people might get tubes, and as they gain weight, it gets better. I gained weight before. It did not get better. And then it just has this continued to get worse. So since I can't get the surgery without the TPN, the tubes would really just to help me to have some nutrients. But the SMA would still be there. The compression that is just tearing away at my small intestine. Like, imagine if you've got a tight band around your finger and it's just squeezing it and moving and rubbing. Eventually that skin gets raw, and then as time goes on, you're going to break a hole in your skin. So that is one of the risks of SMA syndrome, is gastric perforation, which is a hole in the stomach, which is extremely life-threatening. If you don't get it treated right away, you die. So that is one of the complications that does not go away, no matter what kind of feeding tubes you have, because that's still there. So that's what I mean. That's what I feel in my intestine. It feels raw. It hurts. I can feel it there, and it gets worse as time goes on. So I hope this is making any sense at all. Basically, it's if you don't improve with conservative measures with SMA, which is mainly like weight gain. If a lot of people get tubes for weight gain. I gained weight without tubes. Praise the Lord. I ate a lot of ice cream. I've tried every ice cream there is to try, like ice cream pints. If it exists, I've tried it. Let's see. So if you want tips, I know the best ice creams. I also know the healthiest ones. I would have healthy ones and some unhealthy ones. Let's see. But I stay more towards the healthy ones now because I really got to be careful with my immune system. So where was I? So conservative measure is gaining weight, whether you do that just by eating or tubes. Conservative measures don't work, then it's surgery. Now, if conservative measures don't work and you don't get surgery and it continues going on, like, you can look this up on Google. It's like the AI Google search will tell you if you don't get SMA syndrome treated at all, there's a very, very high chance of death. And I have seen people even younger than me die in the past years, in the past few months. And that really breaks my heart. And I really value the fact that I'm still here. and I don't understand why they're not here, and I am. So I'm not going to shut up about it. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my SMA syndrome and why I can't get surgery. There are like several different types of surgeries. A lot of them give people problems down the road. They're not successful. They don't fix it. There is only one surgery out in this country that is really working. It's new in the past several years. That's how rare this disease is. It's a very rare disease, so it takes longer to get treatments. And it's also very complicated surgeries. That's another huge reason. So there's not a lot of people in this country who can get this new specific surgery from. It's the Alvear is the doctor's name. Dr. Alvear. I don't know if I'm saying it right. And he created this procedure, and he goes around and trains people to do it. So I have contacted multiple people. It's all been a no. And you know, if I could fly to Germany, they would do the surgery on me there. They have a compression clinic. It's all for compressions, and it's just a bit different there. They're willing to risk it, you know, give you the choice. They would do the surgery on me there. Can I travel to Germany in the state I am? No. There's no way I could get to Germany. But if the Lord told me to, I would. But also, it's a lot of money, and most people don't have that money. I don't have that money. We don't have that money. And I don't think that being in Germany, away from everyone, and going in the state I'm in, I don't feel like I could make it. Now, again, if the Lord instructed me to do that, I would go. But there's only so many hills that you're supposed to climb in your life, and if the Lord doesn't tell you to climb the hill, then you probably shouldn't climb it, because you'll either fall along the way, or when you get to the top, you'll fall back to the bottom, or it's just unnecessary hassle, and you're going in the wrong direction. So, yeah, that's really it. It's nobody in the States anywhere can do the surgery for me, because I don't have nutrition, and I cannot go to Germany. I just can't. Who knows if something could change and all of us change. Sam, go to Germany. Surgery there, but I mean, y'all can understand why can't go to Germany now. It's completely unfeasible. It's not covered by insurance. It's Germany. And this is like, when I say it's expensive, it's over $100,000 for the surgery. It's not cheap. It's really, really intense surgery. So I'm in a bit of an impossible situation when it comes to malnutrition. I mean, they told me in the hospital, this was in January, end of January, early February, they said, if you keep going like this, all your organs, you know, are gonna shut down. Because that's just the natural truth. That's what happens. 500 calories, like, y'all, I'm gonna be honest, I should be dead. I go to the doctors, they're like, how are you doing it? And they don't believe me that I have these illnesses, because what I'm explaining to them should have me in a bed, never getting up, on palliative care. But I am sitting up in the doctor's office, seemingly perfectly fine and alert, because the Lord has really helped me to just carry myself. I don't do this by myself. So they look at my test results, and then they're like, oh my gosh, you need to go to the hospital. You need to go do this, you need to go do that, you know? Like, you need to go to the emergency room, usually is what they tell me. Because the test results, and they're like, you can't not be having nutrition. Go to the emergency room, get it figured out. And then I get to tell them, you know, it's God. Now, I usually tell them that before they see the test results, so they think that I'm a little bit loony. And I'm like, it's God. Unless they're a Christian, but so far they haven't been. And they don't believe me, think I'm a little loco. But then they look at my test results, and they completely change their countenance. And all of a sudden there's like an urgency, like, you know, okay, let's fix this. Yeah. So that's the honest truth. I should be dead. I'm not. So I'm waiting for a miracle, but I'm also in one of them because I'm still here. there's not really many of any days I've gotten more than 1,000 calories, and a minimum, you're supposed to get 1,200. I don't know if it's the same for men. I know for women, minimum of 1,200. Anything under that is too little, and I've never gotten more than 1,000, but I'm usually only getting 500. That's just not enough to sustain, especially since I'm not even absorbing all of the 500. I did a post a bit ago on signs of malnutrition, but when it comes to malnutrition, so someone in my state, usually what it usually looks like, someone who is in my position, they are mostly stay at home all the time. I do that, but they also usually are on palliative care, which is when people come to your home and they help you with any medical needs, and they prepare you for death. They help prepare your loved ones for death, and you start doing things and preparing for death. So I don't have palliative care because I'm not saying like I'm going to prepare for death and hope to be healed. You can't be half in and half out. You got to pick. And I know that might be hard for some people to hear. Maybe you haven't really thought about that before, but in order for the Lord to do something, the Bible is very clear. When you ask for something, believe that you have already received it and it will be done for you. It doesn't say hope that you might receive it, but no, it might not happen and maybe he'll do it. Like, it doesn't say that. You have to believe that you've already received it. So when it comes to healing, you can't be thinking, I might die, but hopefully God will heal me. I might be sick for the rest of my life. Hopefully God will heal me. Then you gotta say, I'm gonna be healed, and you have to not doubt. And if you're thinking like I might die, then okay. I'm thinking like there are older people who might be thinking like, I'm ready to go to heaven, take me Lord. That's how my mom was. So she wasn't really focusing on I'm gonna be healed and healthy. She was just focusing on I want to go be with the good Lord. So it's different for what age you are when it comes to that. But young, we're supposed to live long. And I really believe we need a revival of biblical healing. It's something that I wasn't really taught growing up, and I've come to know and I've come to learn, and I hope that I can share that knowledge with others. So you might see this sign behind me. It says, I am healed and whole, my day of life 2025. I am just waiting to put a date on that. I was going to take that off, and I was like, that people will think that's weird, but I kept it there. Why shy away from anything at this point? So that is how radical I am believing. I have a letterboard set up that when I'm healed, I just put the date on there, take a picture. Today is my day of life, and that's what it will be called. Not necessarily that I'm going to die and come back to life, but it is my day of life because life was breathed into me when I have slowly been dying. When I say, this disease is slowly taking a life from me, I'm slowly dying, it's not an exaggeration. I genuinely am. And I know that I may seem okay, but what you're seeing is such a small sliver. You're just seeing such a small sliver. Y'all know I have not been using my wheelchair, and it's not because I don't need it. It's not because I'm healed. Quite frankly, the complete opposite. I am not healed. I still get worse. Every week, I still get worse. I need that chair. It would help me so much physically. It would help me so much physically, but I felt very strong that it was time to give it up out of faith, out of an expectancy that this year, I already said at the beginning of the year, this is the year. I still stand by that. I just could not have expected it be at the end of the year, and thank the Lord he didn't tell me, because maybe I would not have made it. I probably wouldn't have. There are reasons the Lord keeps things from us. So here we are, November, last 2 months of the year. But God's going to do it before December 20th. He's going to do it. Let's see. I had thought that it would be December. I just felt, healing by December. physical healing didn't happen by December, but I will say a lot of mental and trauma healing happened in September. A lot. So that was really important for me. So anywho, back to the wheelchair. I gave that up. Horrible for my physical health. When it comes to church on Sunday and me walking, I've got a big church, so, and I gotta use the bathroom several times during the service, gotta walk there. It's a lot of walking, but also, like, if I go to the store, I'm not using it, but I'll, like, stand on the end of the cart. My mom pushes me around, so I don't have to walk as far. But I have not been using it anywhere. I have not touched that thing since that Sunday night at the first night of camp meeting that I said, this is the last day. Now, and I just had to they had to wheel me back in with their church's wheelchair at the one point. But so once Sunday is over, I am so ill. The rest of the week is so excruciating. It's horrible. And I finally feel better by Saturday night. And then I do it all over again every week. And any picture you're seeing is from Sunday. It's from when I finally felt better. And you don't see the pictures from the rest of the week when I'm like, it's hell, people. I don't use that word lightly. It's bad. It's really bad. And you are seeing me today on Sunday. When God helps me pull it all together, I'm around so many people that I love. That helps you to cope. It helps you so much that you can't underestimate being in church and it giving you a mental boost. But it's also just that, I've spent the whole week recovering. Finally felt good yesterday. Then it's Sunday, the day I finally feel better. And then when I start feeling bad, it usually hits me like the next day. And then it's worse the second day after that. And then it starts to improve. So, like, Monday morning is when I wake up feeling like I got hit by 5 bajillion buses. And then spun in 5 bajillion circles. And then beat up by 5 bajillion wrestling men. I don't know. So you're seeing me on the good days. Now, camp meeting, that was just the Lord's favor that I was able to make it there for 4 days. And honestly, I felt a little bit better all those 4 days. The Lord just helped me because I was supposed to be there. And I'm always like, I miss camp meeting. I want to go back. Because it was a great time. And also, I felt better. And it was just, I miss it. I miss feeling better. Let's see. But God has done that to me before, giving me little moments of feeling better. To help me do things, but also to just give me hope, like, oh, this is what life could be like when I'm better. Still had tons of issues at camp meeting. Tons. But it was just like, even just 2% better is like very noticeable for me. So now let's see. I don't really know where to end this. So yeah, you're not seeing everything else. You're not seeing when, I'm not exaggerating when I say screaming in bed in pain. I scream every morning when I get out of bed. I groan to get out of bed. I have moments where I stop breathing, or it gets very, very restricted. My breathing will get very slow and then very fast, or it will just get like, I just can't breathe. It's like my lungs are shutting down. That's what it feels like. Now I am going to touch on how I have tons of other illnesses that I can't get treated because of the SMA syndrome. So I have a lot of autoimmune disease. This is where functional medicine plays a big role that maybe not a lot of people always know about or are told about. You've got to detox, but when I say detox, that could mean so many things. You got to be super careful. If you don't do it in the right order, it will make you more sick, not better. And that's what happens to a lot of people. And when I say detox, I don't mean like drink greens juice or go on a juice fast. That will help your body detox, but that's not what I mean for like an actual complete cellular detox. It involves like detoxing every organ. It involves pulling toxins from your cells, from your tissues, getting rid of gut infections, and it's just very methodical in how you have to do it step by step. But I can't detox because of the compression in my small intestine, and because of my other compressions. My left kidney is very is my kidney vein is blocked off. It's not getting much blood, so the kidney function on my left side is not where it should be. So if I didn't have that kidney there, fine, it goes to the other kidney. You have the other kidney, but it's there, so stuff tries to go through that kidney and it doesn't. So I get frequent UTIs because of that. Let's see, and I get other bladder symptoms as well. What else? And then because of another compression, I get reduced blood flow to all of my abdominal organs. In order for things to work correctly, like your liver, you need blood flow. Blood equals your organs working. You need blood. So without blood flow, it's not going to work that great. Just like if you don't have blood flow to your head, your brain's not going to work as good. So the autoimmune diseases that I have are myasthenia gravis and autoimmune encephalitis. So the movie Brain on Fire is a great example of what it's like to live with this. But the type of autoimmune encephalitis, or AE, in that movie was a different one, and it's one that progresses very rapidly and gets very severe, like extremely severe. And in the case of PANS/PANDAS, it has a sudden onset usually, but it doesn't progress so rapidly to the point where you're like catatonic, and you have to relearn to walk. Yet some people do get to that point. Most people don't, but some people do. It's basically where the immune cells in your brain are attacking themselves, and then your brain gets inflamed. And when your brain is inflamed to that point, so many things go haywire. And I used to be at a point where I could not function. Some of you who knew me before I moved to Florida, you didn't see me for years. So this is a little bit of my story from over the years. But you didn't see me for years because I could not function. So you may see me now, but this took so much work. I did do some natural healing protocols that didn't involve too much detox. Didn't involve my liver and all that stuff. That they definitely did help me, and I had to alter my diet. And that helped, but the main thing that helps is the Lord, and it was working on my own brain, retraining my brain how to respond, constantly telling myself, I'm okay. I constantly will feel paranoid, and I have to tell myself, I'm okay. I've had to really work through some things and train my brain to recognize this feeling is not valid. It's not real. It's my brain hurting itself. And that has taken a lot of self-awareness, inner work, and self-control as well. Learning how to manage my own brain the best I can with the Lord, and letting him move through me when I can't seem to function myself. What else was I going to say? But I also get very, very disoriented, but there's so many things I have that could cause that. Let's see. Where was I? So the myasthenia gravis. Now I have horrid cavities getting all of my teeth, but when I receive numbing stuff, it sends me into a respiratory crisis where I can't breathe. So the dentist does not want to operate on me because that's not safe. I need to get my myasthenia gravis under control, but I can't. A lot of people may get intravenous IV. This goes back to the point where my veins are not accessible and I cannot. In no way, in no shape or form, getting stuck. Like, my veins are too small for that. But also, when you get IVIG, your body still has to go through somewhat of a detox. And everything just gets stuck in me. So, anywho, that was not in the cards for me. So I've got uncontrolled myasthenia gravis. They don't want to do my cavities. I have so many cavities though that I really want to get put under, but they also don't want to put me under. The last time I had anesthesia, it was bad. I woke up unable to breathe, and I couldn't move, so I couldn't tell anybody that I couldn't breathe. Just another miracle. God saved me there. I did not die. He's got me through a lot to get where I am. So I've got these cavities rotting my teeth. I have an appointment coming up this month. I see a really great dentist, so we're gonna go there and see if we can work through something. Maybe she'll let me do anesthesia and put me on some meds and just monitor me. So we're going back to reevaluate. It's a really good dentist who we're hoping will help me out. It's a few hours away, but they're Christians. It's called Alpha Dentistry at like Alpha and Omega. So anywho, yeah, cavity's horrible. Also, they just keep popping up, and now you might think like, well, it's because you didn't get your other ones fixed. That's not how it works. Like one cavity in your tooth doesn't cause you to have another cavity. It's the underlying cause of the cavities that makes you have more. So it's like they keep popping up. So it's like I felt like if I get my teeth fixed, they're just gonna keep popping up. What's the point? I have to keep going back to the dentist. Just want to wait till I'm healed to get them fixed. Unless the Lord takes away my cavities when I'm healed. Oh, that would be so great. Hey, He can do it. So that's another thing. But it's getting to the point where I gotta at least get some taken care of. I gotta get to the dentist. It's getting worse. My teeth are starting to really hurt. It's not good. So let's see. That's myasthenia gravis. That's the brain inflammation. That's the two autoimmune diseases I have. So the myasthenia gravis definitely affects me a lot. I'm losing dexterity in my hands. I'm dropping things. I won't go all into everything. Okay, so that is the gist. And now I'm going to go back to the beginning. Where am I at right now, at this very moment? I can feel that I'm not doing well. I can feel it in my body. In any situation, usually I should be on bed rest with palliative care, but I am stubbornly faithful. And I run myself dry. I run myself to where I'm in agony. But I do it not out of a disservice to myself, but because I'm causing myself to hurt physically in order to grow spiritually and mentally. And as hard as it is, and as difficult as it may be to understand, it's been so worth it. I'll get into that in a second, but so physically, my breathing is slow. I'll wake up in the night feeling like I can tell I wasn't breathing as I wake up gasping for air. I have trouble waking up. It's so incredibly hard to get out of bed. It takes me about an hour just to get myself to get out of the bed, and a lot of times I'll scream as I'm getting out of the bed because it's so painful and it's so hard to get my body up, because once it's laying down and resting, it's like, no, Sam, we're so incredibly ill, you can't get up. We need to stay here in this bed, and that's why people are on palliative care and they don't get up. But you can only do what you tell your mind you can do. That's how people get through in crazy situations, like say someone gets in a horrible plane crash and they have to stay awake for 3 days straight, because they could die if they sleep. Their brain stays awake and pushes past impossible situations. And that's really where I'm at. I'm running on adrenaline constantly, because when you're not eating enough, your body literally eats its own tissues to keep going and survive. And in doing that, it releases adrenaline. So I'm like, my mom is like, how do you have all this energy like all the time, like to talk, not necessarily to walk, but to talk and just to be upbeat and just alert somehow. And it's because I've got adrenaline pumping through me constantly. So that is one thing. That's how I keep going as well, because I've got adrenaline pumping, and it numbs the feeling of like I need to stop and rest. It actually can make it hard for my body to fall asleep. I really have to do some mind work there to tell my body, hey, I'm safe, I can fall asleep, God's protecting me. So when I lay down to go to bed at night, like, my body is just like, no, stay awake, you need to stay awake, stay awake, stay awake, stay awake. It's not safe to go to sleep because we're in a state of we can die. Just like when someone gets hurt and they're like, stay with us, it's because if you're awake, your body can keep fighting, but if you're sleeping, your body can drift off. That's why a lot of people die in their sleep. And that's why I wake up in the night very, very unwell. And I will plead with the Lord. You know, I'll pray in the Spirit. God help me. I'll cry out to Him. So the gist is, yes, I'm actively dying. No, there's nothing I can do about it medically, and I explain to you the reasons unless something changes. 3, I know I don't look like I'm dying. You only see a very sliver of me, and I'm running on adrenaline. You've got to understand that. And when I'm done this, I will probably not talk at all for the next 24 hours. I will lay in bed. I will tell God I am so confused at how I'm supposed to get my schoolwork done. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. I will cry. I will scream. I will beg with God to help me. I will have trouble walking. I'm not claiming this. I'm just letting you know in the past, you know, what it's like for me and what I will usually experience after I hang up the phone, after I post the picture, after I stop talking in this video. Sometimes I just like randomly choke. I don't know if that's myasthenia gravis, where I randomly like start to choke and I gag and I can't breathe. That happened the other night. That was scary. What was I saying? So yeah, those are the 3 things. 1, I'm actively dying. 2, no, there's nothing I can do about it. 3, I know I don't look it, but there's a lot you don't see. And I also have to point out there's got to be somebody in your life or somebody you know who was sick and all of a sudden they were just gone. You couldn't necessarily see that they were about to die. So just in case you don't understand. Now I've got to end with, I may be actively dying, but I'm not doing anything to actively prepare for death. I'm going to be healed. And I thank the Lord for the people who tell me all the time, you know you're going to be healed, right? And your miracle is coming. I'm standing with you. Those are things that I need to hear, and that I'm so grateful I get to hear. I don't doubt that it's coming. And then there's something inside me that feels like it can't happen, because in the natural it can't. It feels unreal. Yet at the same time, I know in my heart I don't doubt that it's going to happen, and I don't doubt what He's going to do. It's just that I'm waiting, and at the same time I feel like I can't go on anymore. So it makes me feel like I just don't want to be here. And I think back to Paul when he said, my heart, I'm paraphrasing, my heart longs to be with the Lord in heaven. That is my heart's desire. I would much rather be in heaven than on the earth. But I am much more needed here on the earth. People need me on the earth. My calling is on the earth. And I have a lot left to do on the earth. So I will choose to stay here. And that is what has got me through. I'm not meant to die. I'm meant to live, and if I'm meant to live, I will. So I'm not preparing for death, so that's why I'm not consulting palliative care, which would make sense with my situation, with my doctor's report, with science, with natural things. But I'm not believing for those natural things. They're happening. Those scientific things, they're happening. I feel it. It's bad, but I'm not believing that they're going to end in death. I'm believing that they're going to end in healing and life. All these natural things that are happening to me are going to end with one supernatural thing, and that is healing. And I am just waiting. Something big is coming, and I'm just waiting. And it's hard, but it's so much easier when you're surrounded by community. But then it's hard, and then it's easier, and then it's hard. After church, it's really hard to come home because it's like, I gotta go through a whole nother week, make it back to church, gotta do school. That is still hard, but the Lord has me doing it, so it's gotta be okay. I'm like, man, I gotta go get through a whole nother week. How am I gonna get through a whole nother week? And then I finally get through the week, and Saturday night I'm like, I just want to stay in bed and die. Just want to stay in bed and not move. How am I supposed to make it to church tomorrow? Then I get to church, and I'm like, I'm so glad I made it. Thank you, Jesus. I'm so glad I'm here, and I have a great Sunday, and it's a great day. And then I get home. How am I going to make it through another week? How am I going to get through the night? And that's what every week looks like. Sunday is so sweet. The rest of the week is brutal. I try my best to make it to Tuesday prayers. I did make it a few weeks in a row, and I have a small group once a month on Tuesday nights. I missed 2, but I made it to the last one. I didn't make it to the last 2 prayers. So if God gives me the strength, I really, really love making it to those. But other than that, I do not leave my house, my apartment. So I leave on Sunday, and then I leave, if I'm able, on Tuesdays for prayer, and once a month for small group. Third Tuesday of every month. So I'm not leaving much, and every once in a while I'll leave more, like for camp meetings. Or sometimes the only time, I have to mention, I'm not really following with a doctor right now because they can't do anything for me. And every time I go to see a new primary care provider, they're either like, whoa, this is a lot, we think you should see this person. And then I go to see another person, they're like, well, we think you should go see this person. You get the gist. Or I start seeing a primary care provider, and then they drop me as a patient because they say I'm too complicated. And it gets to the point where it's like, they can't help me anyways. I've just had enough. I'm not even kidding, like that's happened to me several times. The only doctor I have right now really is my GI doctor. He's in Tampa. He's great. He's the one who ordered my feeding tube, my PICC line, and it's been 6 months since I've been to him, so to continue to get care from him, I have to go back, or maybe it's been a year. It's actually been a year. I have to go back to him if I'm going to receive any more care. So if I were to need anything more like that medically, I would go back to him. So he's really the only doctor that I have right now, and the only one I need. So I don't really go to the doctor unless I'm going to the emergency room. What was I saying? Oh right, I only go out on Sundays and Tuesdays, and occasionally something else. I also have to note that because I'm not using my wheelchair in church, multiple people think that I'm healed because they don't know that my health issue doesn't actually have much to do with like being able to walk, even though it's just an effect of everything I'm going through. They don't know what I'm going through, so they just thought I couldn't walk and that was it. And now that I'm walking, they think I'm healed, and they just don't quite understand. So just I think everyone who's watching this understands, but just in case, or maybe you're new and you don't really know me and you're watching this, so it's like, now you know why I'm not using a chair and how I'm not healed, I'm actually worse. And I could really need it. I'm just like making myself I'm willingly letting myself suffer immense pain and weakness. I mean, my legs did give out a couple times. Y'all know about that. And it's, one night I crawled to my bathroom. That happened. I did do that. Because I just couldn't get up. I couldn't find the strength to walk. And then when I've got to walk by myself and there is no one there to help me, which that's got to happen at times, I'm like, all right, this is a mission. I got to look at my feet, I've got to have eyes on my feet so my brain can comprehend they need to move. I'm like, this is a mission. We get there, and then I get back. Now, if there's a bunch of people around me, that ain't happening. I need help because I'm like, it's so disoriented because I can't really see well to the sides. I have tunnel vision, but I'm also just so disoriented and because my body is just so weak from the malnutrition that I don't even know how to explain it. Just imagine the sickest you've ever been. Like if you have the flu and pneumonia and a concussion and a sprained ankle. Just imagine that. You're at home recovering. It's hard, but you'll get through. Now imagine you have that and you're walking in a crowd of 1,000 people in your church. My church has a lot of people. But even if it's just in the store, imagine you have all of that going on and you're expected to just function and you just need to go out in your day and live and do work and do school. So you might think like, oh, I've had that. It wasn't as bad. Well, you were taking off and you weren't really trying to move on with your life. You're just trying to rest and recover. So that's the difference for people with a chronic illness is they can't just stop and recover for 10 years straight. They have to figure out how to adapt and how to live their life and how to live in this state of lack, always a state of lack and need and pain and suffering, and how to push past immense levels of pain that if anyone woke up feeling how I'd feel, they'd be dialing 3 numbers, 911. If I woke up at age 10, I would be like, Mom, and I felt like this, I'd be like, Mom, you have to call the ambulance. I've got when I get healed, I'm like, all right, let's get my feet on the ground, start running. I know what God's called me to do. I know what's next. I didn't always know that. And you don't have to. But I do know now. With certainty. And parts that I was confused about, I'm just didn't know about yet. Because the Lord hadn't really revealed it to me. I'm like, I know what I'm doing when I get healed. No confusion there. I am, like I said, feet on the ground running. I know where I'm headed and it's going to be fast. It's going to happen quick. It's going to be all of a sudden boom. And when you've waited this long and you get healed, it just makes sense that it will happen fast. Things will happen fast for you. When you've gone through something for so long, the Lord has watched you and He is gracious and He will not make you wait again. You'll go through something for so long and then He'll bless you just like that. Anyways, I hope this made sense. I hope this came across well. And the funny thing is, I thought, when I'm healed, I'll make a video like this. When I'm healed, I don't want to do it now, God. If you just heal me, I'll do a bunch of stuff. That's not what it should be. We never actually should be saying to the Lord, God, if you just do this, I'll do this. Anyways. So I learned that I can't wait. And I shouldn't wait. So here I am with this video. And I know this definitely cleared some things up. So I don't think I'll really have to post an update again. I don't really think that I'll be posting much more about my illness. I really don't think that I'm going to. I don't think I need to at this point. I don't want to. I don't feel led to. It's just, I'm just going to live and enjoy life best I can with the amount of suffering. And I'm really hoping that this video covered everything that could ever need to be covered. And now I see this was probably good to do before I was healed, while I was still in this, so that when I'm healed, I got way less explaining to do as well. That's another thing. Hopefully this was good. I'm gonna go lay down, sleep maybe, or eat something, and then lay down and be in distress, and then sleep, and then eat something, and then be in distress and lay down, try to do school, try to watch TV, and then not watch it because my eyes can't see the television and my brain is so tired it can't focus. And you know, God is good. I've been saying that. People ask me how I am, and I can't say good anymore because I'm like, I can't lie anymore because these people know me now. It's not like they're just strangers. I'm not gonna lie and tell them I'm good, because then they'll be like, Sam said she's good, she's feeling better. Like, I'm not gonna lie to these people. So when they ask me how I am, I say God is good. And you know what my pop-up would say? God is good and the devil is still a liar. He would always just say God is good all the time. God is good. So I've just adopted that. How are you? God is good. Because I don't feel like saying, how are you? I'm horrible. I'm so horrible. Oh, the one thing I'll touch on is how good not using my chair has been for my spiritual and my mental health. It's just created such a sense of normalcy for me in a situation that is so abnormal. Like, I can sit in a normal chair. I walk to the bathroom myself. Every time I move, I don't gotta be like asking someone for help or moving my chair. It also gives me the opportunity to go sit with friends, to branch out. And it just makes me feel normal, and that's something that I so desperately needed. And it's put me in situations, because of not using my chair, to grow me spiritually, whereas if I was using my chairs, there were so many things that would not have happened because of the chair. And I'm not telling you if you use a wheelchair to stop using it. I used it for years. I needed it. That's what I needed at the time. It's just a time for me now where I've chosen to stop using it. If you feel like that's something you want to do, put your faith in the Lord wholeheartedly and give it up. As a dear friend just told me, that it's a really special place of faith when you give up comfort to trust the Lord instead. Like, you choose the Lord and trusting the Lord and giving it all to Him and surrender over comfort, putting yourself in a position of pain. If you're in a wheelchair and you feel like you're supposed to stop using it, put your faith. If you feel like it's not time yet, or if you're supposed to keep using it, keep using it. Everyone's faith walk is different, and everyone's faith walk requires different sacrifices, different battles that you'll go through. Everyone's faith walk requires different areas of growth, different ways of growth. So don't compare your journey to somebody else's. If you can get motivation, you can get encouragement, that is great. Just don't be like, oh, this person did this, so I should do this. No, take it as encouragement and then say, okay, what should I do in my situation? Make sure you are asking the Lord what you should do and not just doing what somebody else did. Even me. Don't stop using your wheelchair because I stopped using mine. God might want you to still use it. So, yeah. Everyone's faith walk is personal, because everyone's faith is leading them to a different calling. So it requires different courses. So you're just going to see me posting my best moments. That's what you're going to see. I might just want to keep things personal as things get worse. I'm really not wanting to share too publicly as things get worse. I just need to keep it tight to the vest. Is that how it's said? I don't think so, but I just want to keep it close. It's a very vulnerable state that I'm in right now. So as things happen, I'm probably not going to share. I might if I feel led, but I'm probably not. So you can just understand when I post things where I look good, I ain't feeling good. And any other time that's not a picture, I'm not looking good either. So yeah, I think that covers everything. I'm gonna check out now. Thank y'all for staying with me. I think this is like an hour-long video. Oh my gosh, can this even be posted on Instagram? It might have to be 3 parts. I don't know. I hope it can be posted.